Recording in progress.
Morning, Chair. Good morning,
Morning,
Chair.
morning.
Yes, Chair. It's 10 o'clock. We have about 5 members. Then we can start with the meeting. The rest will join us as we proceed. Hi, Chair. Hi, Chairperson.
Yeah, Mr. Matonsi, can you hear me? I was struggling to log in here. I mean to
Yeah,
put the
yeah. Now I can hear you now.
okay. No, thanks, Mr. Matonsi, and good morning to members. We have deferred the two items to be processed or considered by the committee before we continue the approval of the advert and also the update on the public hearing program and consideration of minutes of the previous meeting. The first point which we think we need to deal with um, the our colleagues in the administration. I've observed that when we in the meeting, honorable members, sometimes they don't have space to sit or chairs to sit, which is something that we must correct, because the committee is a house itself. So if members of parliament are not are sitting at the door and officials are sitting down and you're looking at them, I found it odd in our last meeting. And I'd requested the officials to request the Department of Home Affairs to release some of their DDGs where they were on the table. And you could not even act, both yourself, Mr. Salmon and Mr. Matonse. And I did not appreciate that posture. When we're in the meeting, members of the committee, you must know, you know very well how many are members of the committee, except those that will be joining us who are not members. So you know the number, you know the seats. So it's difficult for us to deal with the members of the committee who are not um, attended to. It was an odd matter, and I think we must correct it from. It can be requested by the chairperson that a member is sitting not where he's supposed to sit, and we don't consider that. It's like when we're in parliament, the session is in session. The members can sit at the back outside the perimeters of the maze, and officials are sitting in the actual sitting arrangement of parliament. So I thought I must just deal with that point so that those who have responsibility to make sure members are sitting properly must take responsibility and move forward. Can I then invite Mr. Matonsi to render apologies if there are apologies? Or members, do you want to comment on the matter so that I don't suppress views on the subject matter so that we're clear? Okay, if there's no hand, let's proceed with our apologies. I think it's clear on how we must run. Thank you.
Chair, I've got only one apology from Miss Machi. Then that's the only apology I received, unless if there are others that have not reached me. Chairperson.
Okay, thank you. Now we can proceed to the next. We have all apologies noted. Let's do this third item.
Okay, Chair. Then the next item was that you'll recall in our previous meeting, the committee took a decision that the issue of the upper limits and the threshold of the political party funding should be taken for public comments. So together with the legal service, we have written an advert that was shared with members. I'll just go through it and then members can just comment later. This is the advert. Have you say Political Funding Act Committee deliberation on the resolution required by Section 21A related to the upper limit for donations received by a political party and the disclosure threshold for political parties, independent candidates, and independent representatives. Then the Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs invites members of the public and organization to comment on the resolution required by Section 24(1)A of the Political Funding Act, 2018 Act number 6 of 2018, PFA, related to the upper limit for donation received by a political party and the disclosure threshold for political parties, independent candidates, independent representatives, as provided for in Section 8(2) and 9(1)A of the political party funding, respectively. The Western High Court, in the matter between My Vote Counts NPC and the President of the Republic of South Africa, case number 10607/24, has provided a read-in for the upper limit to be determined at 50 million per financial year and the disclosure threshold to be determined at 100,000 per financial year. Section 8(2) of the PFA provide that political parties may not accept a donation from a person or entity in excess of a certain prescribed amount within a financial year. Section 9(1)A of the PFA provides that a political party, independent candidates, and independent representatives must disclose all donations received above the prescribed threshold. In terms of the PFA, a prescribed is defined as a prescribed by regulation made under Section 224. Section 24(1)A of the PFA provides that the President, acting on a resolution of the National Assembly, may, by proclamation in the Gazette, make regulation in respect of matters contemplated in Section 8(2) and 9(1)A. The Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs is therefore in the process of deliberating on the formulation of the resolution required in terms of Section 21A, whereafter it will report to the National Assembly. That report of the committee will then enable the House to make the required resolution. Public comments will assist the Committee on Home Affairs in the formulation of the resolution that will enable and ultimately made by the National Assembly. Okay, the deadline there we have put in 25 October, and then submission must be directed to myself, Matonsi. Then we are going to create a specific email so that we receive all the comments in that email address. And then if people want clarification, then they will contact me on that number issued by the chairperson. That's all, chairperson.
Thank you very much, members. This is the okay. Telana, is there any other matter before I invite members for?
None from my side, Chairperson.
Okay, thanks, members. This is a draft advert. We've also interacted with the legal team in terms of drafting. You recall that you have adopted that we must call for written public submissions. And we thought that before we issue the invite, it must go through the committee for approval. Is there any other matter on the advert?
You mean from me, Chairperson?
No, I'm inviting members if there's any other matter on the advert. You'll assist me.
There's Miss Kojane, Miss Kojane, Mr. Ngubane. I'm just checking the others. And Miss Ngobeni. Those are the three hands.
Okay, Honorable Kojane, Honorable Ngobeni, and Honorable Ngubane. You can lower your hands, Honorable Kojane.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to all members. Chair, I think that the beginning of the advert, maybe there's a section, if Mr. Matonzi can just scroll a little bit down where they are inviting the public. It is the third paragraph where I think it's that one. It's a specific line that says we are inviting the public for comment. If that line could be included in the top, because where it says have your say and we have a little abstract of what we are discussing, it's not clear at the top part of the advert that we are inviting the public for comment so that they know exactly after reading the background that they are then invited for comment on this specific thing. If it could just maybe move to the top. If we move right to the top, it just says have your say and then it starts with the abstract. It's at the top, right at the top, where it says have your say, just below have your say, where it now discusses the Political Funding Act and it gives the background. It says a call for public submission and comments. Is it possible that we could say we are inviting the public for submission and comments, also to be bolded maybe, because sometimes people don't see it like that. It's just a suggestion. Thank you.
Okay, noted. Honorable Kojana. Honorable Ngoben.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to all the colleagues. I want to echo Honorable Kojane. I do think that the writing at the bottom is a bit faint, but my big concern, sorry, have your say also sounds like another sort of movement, if you like, just like the my vote counts type of thing. But more than that, I wanted to check, colleagues, if we were satisfied with the deadline of the 25th of October. That is not a long time from now. It's actually a month. I just want to get direction as to whether previous experience has enabled in 1 month for the sufficient consultation or sufficient call for the public to have their say indeed. Has that proven sufficient in previous times? Because oftentimes you get that this public participation becomes very scanty. What is the department's plan to make sure that we can have sufficient submissions made by the public, irrespective of the deadline? I personally have no problem with the deadline in and of itself, but more about the merits and the quality of submissions and also the sufficient number that we will derive from this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ngobeni. Honorable Ngubane. Mbof.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. Chair, I want all languages or all newspapers as well when you advert, or we're going to end up with this only piece like in English, or we're going to advertise, let's say, in Tonga newspapers, for example, in Ilanga and in KZN, in Zulu. So are we going to cater for those as well, so that we have as well give those others that can't speak this Queen's language to know what's happening in their country? Probably they might want to have an input in their mother tongue language as well. So it's just to ask that, Chair, if we're going to have this in all languages and in all newspapers of different languages. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Those, I think, are the comments. Mr. Matonzi, and I'll invite Talana later.
Okay, Chairperson, with the issue of languages, once this one is approved by the committee and the changes are made, and then we'll have to send it to language section in Parliament for translation into all the official languages. And then we also get quotations to advertise in the newspapers. And then in terms of the deadline here, Chairperson, the president, in terms of advertising, is about 3 weeks. I put in the 25th of October here, also taking into consideration that we still have to do the SEM process, which sometimes takes longer. So which means the date of the 25th of October might be shifted depending on the SEM process to advertise. And then there's a member who, Ms. Lerato, who indicated the wording there, have you say. All the adverts of legislation in Parliament, they are having that this sentence here. Yeah, so it's all the adverts of the legislation, they are sent out like that as a format from Parliament. Unless if I'm leaving something else. Over to
Talana,
Talana.
is the issue?
Yes, Chairperson. I think Eddie answered sufficiently regarding all the questions from the members. I have nothing further to add.
Okay. No, thanks. Well, I think we followed the presentation of public education unit in our last committee meeting. We're going to take that route in terms of the adverts. Once we have considered this advert, it must reflect all languages. Two, must interact with the public education unit in terms of the community radios to make sure that we reach out. Our understanding is that once the written submissions have been concluded or submitted, we'll then invite oral public hearings. We did when we're dealing with the electoral amendment. I think it was consequential amendment, if I recall, where we invite those that want to make oral submissions as a result of their written submissions to the committee. So I think all of us members are clear on that. The matter of the date, it's important that we consider it, Mr. Matonzi. Honorable Ngobenish is correct that we may agree on the 25th and we may find that the process that we are engaged on of what you call supply chain process delays. But I'm happy that the posture of Parliament is that we must able to interface with the all the layers of the administration so that the work of committees of Parliament proceed speedily. I would suggest that we take that date to be, we must have a month to call for the public hearing. In principle, I would suggest members, we agree that we must take this deadline to be the end of October. It should be the date first or something. But if at the time SEM approves, we must have a month, if we would go to November, but we may be able to satisfy open for members. I think those are the 4 issues that members were concerned about, and the understanding is that we must need to move in line with the submission. And once we're done with this languages, all languages of the presentation, Mr. Matonzi, approval by the public unit, you must update us in the next committee meeting, which how many languages have been considered, what is the plan of the public service unit to assist us to communicate this subject matter. I'm sure we can pass this item. Thank you. Let's move to a second item quickly.
On this one, Chairperson, it will be Adam.
Good morning, members. Thank you, Chairperson. The proposed outline is on the screen, as you can see, and we've been interacting with the Public Education Office to get provincial feedback for the KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng public hearings on the marriages bill. The MANCO meeting members indicated that there's a need to include both weekend and weekday options, just because of the schedules of members not being available every weekend, but also to improve some accessibility so that workers can come on the people who have 9-to-5 jobs can come on the weekdays, and those who are available in the week can come in the week too. That said, we'll do a variety of times for each of those weekends. And the proposal at this stage, or this is what we've talked to the Public Education Office, is that we have the weekend of Friday the 8th and the 9th and 10th of November for KZN. And then for Gauteng, we'll have the weekday of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of 20, 21, 22 November. For each of those, the aim is to cover six districts, and to split the committee into two, that there's a delegation of five or so members going to each covering 3 districts, and then we combine the reports afterwards. Same will be for Gauteng. We'll have the committee split into 2 and go to 2 districts each, and then combine for the third district, probably in Johannesburg Central. The proposal then also is for the following provinces to be done in the consequential parts of the year, but these are draft dates because we haven't finalized the first term program of Parliament yet, but it's going to be something around that. We're going to alternate between weekdays and weekends to fit these hearings in with the otherwise quite busy schedule of the committee. Then the Public Education Office is being in contact with the GCIS in each of KZN and Gauteng. And they're saying they're going to give us feedback on the specific districts that they suggest for those areas. They've just been busy with the provincial week with the NCOP this last week, so they're still very busy. So they haven't gotten back to us. But the education unit I'm meeting with the education unit myself. I'm going to train them on the contents of the bill, so that when they go into the provinces, they're well prepared. We're meeting with them next week, and in the meantime, if members have suggestions on which districts, which areas to visit in KZN and Gauteng for the members from those areas, we're happy to take those feedbacks either here or by email. We just need those feedbacks by next week. I'll take your guidance, Chairperson, if you want to do this here, where we just do it by correspondence. But for now, this is what we have. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. The matter of members determining where we must go is not a right procedure. I don't know where you get it. And because you'll create problems for members or for us. It's not the standard way to deal with this issue. We need to assist the public unit to give us a report on the plan of the workshops. Our meeting, when this matter was presented to the committee, all of us were agreed that we must have sufficient mobilization in terms of or communication on the subject matter. And we must utilize the public unit, education unit, to conduct workshop to various districts. And also there was a matter of how we identify stakeholders so that we make impact in terms of deriving input from all stakeholders. So those are the issues that we need the public hearing as per the discussion at MENCO to then brief the committee. What is going to be assisting the committee is that once, as you say, you're going to have meeting with them next week with the GISS to brief them on the content of the bill, and they must develop notes which must be circulated and also taking note of all the languages in terms of the framework of the plan that we briefed on, and the time frame on how they can deal with this workshop, at least to start with the first two provinces, so that the committee is able to plan to attend this public hearing. So that is an important part we need to get to the committee. What I would suggest that in your committee meeting, in your workshop, you must assist the committee to develop that matter. Your date, Mr. Matonsi, and also Mr. Salmon, is that members are going to deal with the bills that we must conduct public hearing, including the reform panel, when it comes to the committee. It will impact on the schedule of the program. What we agreed is that at least once a month we may need to consider a weekend to conduct the public hearings. We still have to interact with the House Chair if even during the period of the sitting or session, the committee can be allowed to proceed to conduct a public hearing, given the extensive work that we must do, and also the other bills that are coming, and we may need to conduct a public hearing. The third point in terms of the program, if you look at it, Mr. Matons and members, is that we've already also applied for our study tour. Remember, there's an issue which we could not deal with, or the previous committee could not deal with, around the study tour on the electronic voting and other related matters in relation to the IEC. There were countries that were identified, and they've taken that decision in terms of legacy report that must be in 2025. So the reasoning for some time on weekend or during the week, it also must accommodate some of the programs that we may need to take and bring to Parliament. Members, is there any matter you want to comment on the areas that have been raised? Mr. Matonsi, assist me. I can't struggle into.
I see Ms. Ngobeni, Mr. Ross, Mr. Ngubane.
Okay. Now they can lower their hands. Honorable Ngobeni, Honorable Ross, Honorable Ngubane. Sorry, Honorable Ross, Honorable Ngubane. Yeah, Honorable Ngobeni can proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. Just for clarity, and I want to concur with your initial remarks around the division of labor. I think also just for us, for planning purposes for ourselves as well, if maybe we can get clarity on how the division of labor is going to be done, because I agree with you that if we all have to decide and choose where we would like to be on any given week, that might cause a little bit of a scanty confusion and also just unnecessary conflict. If we can just get clarity on that, because I agree with your initial points. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ross.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and thank you very much. I think this is it's quite a comprehensive tour of the different provinces. Chair, you've already alluded to it, but I just wanted to re-emphasize the plea that we try and meet with diverse audiences. That that we don't just have a geographic spread, that we also really try and make sure that we meet different types of communities, different types of stakeholders. Yeah, I know that it's difficult to make it perfect and to meet every different type of community and stakeholder. But if that attempt can be made, so that we can ensure that we have a diversity of audiences that can give us a diversity of inputs. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ngubane.
Yeah, Chair, from my side, I don't know whether the secretary did share this document with us. If you can share it with, check on my email, I couldn't find it. If you can share with, and then secondly, on the number of districts, will the secretary or the procedure of looking at the district where they will be inviting people to, I don't know if they can clarify that, or they will look at saturated places or district, or how is that going to happen? Because I see even in Gauteng, you said 2 or 3 metros. The procedure of choosing those areas, would you look at the concentration of what, or accommodate as well what Mr. Ross is just asking now? Or if you can understand how will the venue for that will be chosen, so that we are able to notify our people earlier on which venue will it be, and so that they could be able logistically be able to be present and go there. That's all.
Thank you, Honorable Matunzi and Mr. Adams.
Chair, I can come in here. This is Adam. Yes, Chair. We the first port of call for communication from the Public Education Office is to go to the Government Communication Information System, GCIS communications, in each of the provinces, because they're familiar with the right venues, the diverse interest groups. They're the interface, the public interface of government with communities. We also have parliamentary democracy offices in the provinces that we communicate with afterwards. So they have a more on-the-ground understanding of the best places. What we have done in the past is we've suggested venues and places based on this the experience of the committee, but now we are being led by the GCIS. But then the members can still give feedback back at the later stage if they feel that those areas aren't right. But we're continuing with that process. We'll meet with GCIS as soon as they're ready. They said next week, and then we'll let members know about the proposed areas as soon as we know them. Hopefully by mid next week, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matunzi.
Yes, Chairperson, just to add on what Adam has said, in most of the provinces, we have got these officials of parliament that are based there who are doing public education already. So this is the Parliamentary Democracy Office that Adam spoke about. So these offices, they have been assisting us, if you remember, Chairperson, in the previous public hearings, in terms of mobilizing members of the community to come to meetings. They are based in most of these provinces. So in terms of deciding on what area are we going to be conducting the public hearings, you recall, Chair, when the Public Education Office presented, they indicated, no, there are certain areas that they have been used several times, so they are suggesting that, no, we use different places in terms of the same venues or the same areas that have been picked up. So public education will assist us in terms of identifying venues in areas where there have not been public hearings, Chairperson. Yeah, and also we are looking at the populated areas in the district, so that we go there and then we are able to have an impact. And also there was an issue of what Chairperson has indicated to target certain groups, such as probably mosque or churches, or a certain group of people, like maybe women and stuff like that. So those are the areas, some of the areas that will be targeting Chairperson. Maybe not just to answer, in terms of the Chairperson from number 3 here, going downwards here, we just came up with the dates, but as Adam has indicated, we don't have the framework for next year. So these dates will change in terms of the parliamentary program. For an example, yesterday I was listening to the planning committee that the president wants to have SONA on the 6th of February. That's why I highlighted it there. So it means this date might have to change because members will be needed to be at the opening of the SONA. That's all, Chair, from my side.
Okay, 2 issues. Let's use KZN so that we or Limpopo. The parliamentary democracy PCOs will advise the committee in terms of the other committees that have been conducting public hearings in this particular area. For example, you may find there in Namahale, all committees that have been conducting public hearings there in the previous years, and the other areas are not accommodated. Secondly, is that Limpopo has 5 districts, for an example. You can identify 3 districts and areas and invite community or stakeholders within that area. That was the formula we used when we're dealing also with the Electoral Amendment Act. In KZN, you have 10 districts. Given the resources, also, you may not accommodate all the 10 districts. You can accommodate the province by also interfacing with the stakeholders. An example, coordination of all the royal houses in terms of subject matter, or the churches, and then take a community or district to deal with the community stakeholders. And I'm just giving an example. I said, piece of would assist us. Secondly, the division of labor. In other words, we'll say, Honorable Ngobeni, Honorable Ross, you are going to focus in this district, in this province. And Honorable Chabano, Ngubani, Honorable Modisemta, Honorable Tejana, and other members, you focus on this district so that we're able to extend and cover all the areas. When the members consolidate the report, it's been consolidated on the basis of the issues that are arising from but that schedule of demarcation or allocation, it must be presented to us once the workshop that Mr. Salmon is raising it has been done with the public education unit. Once they're finished with the KZN workshop, Honorable Nguban, as an example, they will indicate to the meeting that to us, even if not through the meeting, by notice that we're going to Musad Ladla or Achikumete for public workshop. We mobilize, and that will be indication of how we're going to mobilize our communities, and the radio stations, community radio station will assist us to mobilize our people. So this is, in essence, how we're going to interface with the members. At this stage, you may not be able to mobilize because we have not been assisted yet by the democracy parliamentary offices in terms of the areas where we can consider to conduct our oversight. But I'm sure in your workshop, Mr. Matons, you'll deal with those logistics and inform members on this matter. At least during the week or the constituency period, we must have a sense as to what is the plan of the constituency of the public unit in terms of their workshop. Is there any matter? Yeah, I think we can pass this item if members are clear on how we're going to deal with this issue. Let's move the last item.
Chair, this is the draft program for the next term, which starts on the 7th of October. Then we are planning an oversight visit, Chairperson, in Gauteng to the head office of the Department of Home Affairs, the BMA, the IEC, and Government Printing Works. And then we are also planning to go to Lindela and Swane refugee office. During that time as well, Chairperson, we are proposing that the committee meet with the AG to receive audit outcomes for the Home Affairs portfolio. And then from there, when we spend a day at each head office of an entity, and then in the morning we receive a briefing on their annual report for the purpose of the BRRR, the budgetary review and recommendation report that is required by the middle of October. So we have made an application, Chairperson, which is still being considered by the House Chair for the committee to participate in that oversight from the 7th until the 11th of October. Granted. On the 15th of October, Chairperson, we are proposing that the IEC brief the committee on the national and provincial election report of 2024. This is the report that the members have been requesting that the IEC brief it. And then it was supposed to be towards the end of September, but we have pushed it until the 15th of October because of the oversight as well, Chairperson. And then on the 22nd of October, we need to consider and approve the BRRR report, which the deadline to submit is by the 25th of October, Chairperson. So we need to have approved it by that date. On the 29th of October we are proposing the multidisciplinary task team on the implementation of the Lubisi report. The Lubisi report on the issue of permits at the Department of Home Affairs. So that multidisciplinary task team to come and brief the committee on their work. And then also we looking at the counter-corruption and security services to come and brief the committee on how are they dealing with corruption within the Department of Home Affairs. That will be the 29th of October. On the 5th of November, Minister of Home Affairs on the progress on the implementation of the Minister Review Panel on data loss at the Government Printing Works, Chairperson. And then we also have an update by the Minister and the Electoral Consultation Panel on their work. You will recall that they just briefed us now. So probably there could be another update around the 5th of November. So on the 8th until the 10th, that's what we're proposing, public hearings in KwaZulu-Natal. 12th November, briefing by the Minister of Home Affairs Department and CETA, CSRR to address the issue of downtime at the Department of Home Affairs and mobile offices and how to address the matter of long queues. So we're proposing that. this one is the issue of the immigration bill, who can have public hearings. Recall we agreed that no, we are not going to do provincial public hearings. It will be public hearings of people and organizations that will have made submissions, and then it will be done in Parliament. And then on the 20th, 21, 22nd November is I'm sorry, yeah, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be Gauteng here, Chairperson. Okay, that will be public hearing on the marriage bill. Then 26 November, briefing by the BMA on their readiness for the festive season. And then we'll also receive a briefing on the Electoral Commission Amendment Bill. This is a private members bill that was introduced in 2023. And then 3 until 6 December, so there's a proposal to conduct an oversight to the Department, oversight to the Ports of Entry and Department of Home Affairs offices. Also, I have to indicate here, the content advisor, Mr. Adam Samuel, has indicated that no, there is a discussion of conducting a joint oversight in the security cluster to the ports of entries. But at the moment, we are not sure whether that will take place in December or whether it will take place in January. And then that will be, the committee will also participate in that. That's all, Chairperson, from my side.
Okay, thanks, members. This is a draft program that we must consider. Firstly, Mr. Matonsi, we spoke about inviting during oversight in a matter relating to BMA. We need that item when we're conducting oversight. We may need to consider to deal with the loss of data of this panel when we conduct oversight at Home Affairs, no, sorry, at Government Printing Works. I know it will arise when we deal with the annual reports. We may need to see if the committee doesn't want to deal with the report first before we deal with the annual report of IEC. Members must guide which one we must deal with first. Yeah. Members, I'm inviting you.
Chairperson, there's Mr. Ross and Mr. Ngubane.
Chair, can you also note me?
Thank you. Honorable Ross, Honorable Ngubane, Honorable Mukhale. You can lower your hands. Continue, Honorable Ross.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, I do see those two things as separate, as quite separate issues. One is about operational issues around the election and the election day and the run up to it, and then the other one is the audit and the financials, etc., from that year. So I don't know if there's a necessity to put one in front of the other or vice versa. So that's my view on it, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Ngubane.
Chair, I think on an oversight visit on the BMA, I'm sure Ms. Kojana will be happy, Chair, that at last we'll be doing our harm, chairs. I think that will be appreciated by Ms. Kojana. On a serious note, Chair, on the GPW, not only the data, especially as we need to understand the old infrastructure in IT as an overall, as well as the delay in in starting to implement the. I don't know whether it's at the GPW work specifically or is it the delay as well. We need to find out on the delay on implementation of that passport with the chip as well. I think it's somewhere being delayed at the GPW. So to add, I'm just adding here on the issues that you've raised for GPW that we need clarity on.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Mukhale.
That's all.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Mukhale.
Thank you very much, Chair. Well, I appreciate that we are going to get that 2024 elections report. I just wanted to check, Chairperson, is that particular meeting going to be a virtual or physical meeting? And then secondly, how I remember last time we had spoken, we had requested that we must also do oversight at specific Home Affairs offices, but I don't see it here. We must identify problematic offices and go and do oversight there and interact with the staff, with the public and all of that. So I don't see it being included here. Can we include that, or are we going to do it in the next term? Thank you.
Okay, thanks. One, we're going to all comments members you've raised, will add them on the issue. I think they're just empowering this program on how we must focus on it. The IEC are going to meet fiscally. Probably we've requested to have a day with them. Secondly, is that if you check on Mukhale on the 3rd to the 6th, we are visiting offices of Home Affairs in terms of the program. We'll identify them as per the in-committee meeting. I think we'll have an in-committee meeting to deal with how we're going to identify those offices which are problematic, and also those that at least there's progress, the modernized offices which have been built on, so that we're able to have a sense of urban and also offices that in a rural area which are not being taken care of. Those are the issues, members, which have contributed. Honorable Ross, I see your hand, or is a legacy hand?
That's a legacy hand, Chair.
Okay. I think those are the issues, members, that we can stand off. Those are the contributions, and Mr. Adams, rework on the issues, and then we can, it's considered that this program is being approved. Is there any other matter that we must deal with, Mr. Matunzi?
Yes, Chair, this is the minutes, that's the last.
Okay. How many minutes do you have?
Just one set.
Oh, one set, okay.
Chair, this is the minutes of the 10th of September, where the Public Education Office briefed us on the plan to deal with the public hearings, provisional public hearings. And then we also dealt with the issue of the notice of salaries of IEC commissioners. Yeah, that will be it, Chairperson. And these are the members who were there in the meeting.
Okay, thank you, members. This is a reflection of our meeting in our last committee in relation to the issues in the minutes. Comment on the minutes? No comments, can I invite hands to adopt the minutes? Honorable Gojana?
Thank you, Chair. I would like to adopt the minutes as a true reflection.
Honorable Mutolo? Honorable Ngubane.
Thank you, Chair. I'm seconding the minute to adopt the minutes.
I was seconding as well, Chair.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, members, for considering all the issues. Now we're clear on the, we've approved these matters. And Mr. Matonsi, Mr. Adams, once you've concluded your workshop next week, please notify us so that we're able to get a sense on the program. And at that time, I think we'll have decided on the division of labor in terms of how we're going to conduct the public hearings. I want to appreciate this time, members, for having taken your time for this short meeting. Our meeting stand adjourned.
Thank you,
Thank
Chair.
you, Chair. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you,
Thank you
Chair.
very much, Chair. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Chair.